As a designer, it's really easy to feel like the only way to make more money is to land more clients and then charge more for your services. And while these are probably the best ways to grow your business, these are things that you don't have as much control over. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you a couple things that you can do right now with your current clients to increase the overall value of your projects, decrease your input, and put more money in your pocket. Let's get into it. So like I mentioned, the real obvious answer to this is if I want to make more money, I just charge more, right? And then I find more clients, and then that's more money in my pocket. And while these are true, that's not something that we can just flip a switch and all of a sudden we have more clients that want to pay us more, right? These are difficult things to control. And so in this video, we're going to talk about the things that you can control, things that you can do, adjustments that you can make with the clients that you have right now that are going to put more money back into your pocket. Now, the first tip is something that my team and I have struggled with just over the last couple weeks, and that is projects dragging on too long. This is something that we always fall into because we work really hard on a client project, and then that deadline comes and we miss the deadline because the client still has to go over some more revisions or they're not done with their content. And every day that we go past that deadline, it's costing us money, regardless of whether or not we're still working on the site or if we're just waiting for the client to finish things on their end. Every day that goes by is a day that we're not getting paid. And the way that we're setting things up within our business is we're expecting to be paid by or before that deadline. And so if this drags on days and weeks and months, not only is it going to cost us in time and resources, but it's still going to cost our attention. And that's going to be really difficult when you're trying to bring on new clients, when you still have to pay attention and you have the stress and responsibility of these 3 or 4 other projects that are just dragging on and on and on. And so we need to wrap those up quickly in a timely manner at or before the deadline, make sure that we get paid so then we can move forward with our other projects. Now, the next thing that we can do is bill more up front. Now, I've taught before on this channel that you should always do at least 50% up front and 50% at the end of the project. Now, what I didn't understand at the time of teaching those things is that cash flow is really, really important as your business grows. And so the more money that you can have in your pocket or in your bank account sooner or right now, the easier it's going to be for you to scale and invest in your business. So if you're only doing 50% up front and then you're waiting clear till the end of the project to bill the other 50%, there's a huge gap where you don't have that money in your pocket to invest in your team members, in advertising, or in paying yourself, which is obviously really important. So what I would recommend you do is charge as much upfront as you can while not making your clients feel uncomfortable. So what I like to do now is charge 50% upfront and then do 25% at a midway benchmark and then maybe another 10% at a 3/4 benchmark and then the rest at the end of the project. Now, the more that your clients pay upfront, the more the responsibility is going to be on them and they're going to feel that pressure to finish the project earlier. And so it's going to benefit both you and your client. Just remember that how soon you get the money is just as important as how much money, because the sooner you get that money, the sooner you can invest that into your business in a way that's going to bring you more business and more money. Now, my next tip is don't be afraid to adjust the scope and the price of the project mid-project. This is something that's still really difficult for me, and I'm trying to get better at kind of doing a little midway benchmark and saying, okay, where are we at? Are we meeting expectations? And also, is the client meeting our expectations? Are they asking for things that we didn't agree to at the start of this project? And oftentimes you're going to find that the client's asking for extra revisions or a few extra pages. And we can't feel too locked into our agreement that we're afraid to be upfront and honest with those clients and say, this wasn't in our agreement. And so we're going to have to add an addendum to the agreement or do a secondary agreement, whatever it is that we need to do to bill for these extra services that they're asking for. Now, we can't feel like, oh man, I'm locked in. We already agreed to the price and the client's going to be upset if we change the price mid-project. But in reality, the client's going to understand that, okay, we are asking for more than we originally agreed upon, and 99% of the time they're going to be okay with it as long as you present it in a professional way. So don't be afraid to adjust scope and adjust price. And don't be afraid to adjust your timeline if you're in the middle of a project and it turns out to be more than you signed up for. Now, along with that, my next tip is don't be afraid to charge for extra services. And also, don't be afraid to upsell your clients on additional services. And so what that means is if mid-project they decide they need help with an integration or they need help with a migration or whatever it might be, don't be afraid to step in and say, yeah, we definitely can do that. It's going to be an additional $500. We can create a quick addendum to our agreement to add that in, and we can help you with that service. One thing that we like to do in our agency is about 3/4 of the way done with a design and a development project. We are upselling our clients on SEO and sharing with them the benefits of kicking off an SEO campaign once that site is live. Now, doing these types of upsells and charging for additional services is going to help us increase the lifetime value of that client. And even more importantly, it's going to increase the value that that client receives, right? Clients are going to be really grateful if you say, hey, I've got a way to drive traffic to your site. It's going to have a huge return on your investment. And clients are going to be, they're going to have a really easy time of saying, yeah, that sounds great. Let's move forward with it. Now, my final tip to help you bring home more at the end of every project is don't only focus on the money and how much money you're going to pocket, because there are a ton of other benefits that come from working with a client. Now, some of those benefits might be you get a great review or testimonial, which are going to be super powerful marketing assets. The other thing that you can pull from this is just more experience or a new relationship that could lead to additional work or referrals. And so look at these client projects and say, how can I really capitalize on this project that I've done? And even once they've paid their final bill, how can I use what I got out of that project to help me land more business and to increase my presence and my reputation? And by doing this and really capitalizing on those, it's only going to take a few good projects to help you land a ton of great projects, because it's going to grow exponentially. And so if you have projects that you either haven't asked for a review or a testimonial, or you haven't asked for a referral, or you haven't asked or offered additional services, now is the time to do that, because it's much easier to upsell an old client than it is to land a brand new client. So remember that as you are increasing the value of your services and trying to decrease your input. I promise you that by doing this, you're going to make a lot more money and things are going to run a lot more smoothly within your business. Now, if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you would smash that like button and subscribe if you're interested in more videos like this, and we will catch you in the next one.